Throughout the history of mankind, the divine messages are often shrouded in mystery. Prophets, messiahs, or whichever names you call them, are often persecuted and oppressed, their words obscured. But how do we distinguish the true from the false? To do so, one can only rely on the divine's guidance, and the truth will reveal itself to those who earnestly seek it. In our previous episode, we began exploring a recurring prediction in different parts of the world about the return of the king. Our first example was the High King Arthur of Britain, who we believe has arisen as foretold to bring justice for the people. Next, we travel to neighbouring France to reveal another fascinating prophecy. It comes from the 16th century physician and seer Michel de Nostredame, better known throughout the world as Nostradamus. Supreme Master Ching Hai once said that Nostradamus was not a normal clairvoyant, and that he had reached the level of Arahat, or great saint, with exceptional clairvoyant powers. Master also said that Nostradamus was lucky to have had the King of France as a friend. Otherwise, for what he was, he would have been persecuted by the established religions. Nostradamus was gaining renown for his truthful prophecies during the reign of King Henry II of France. In 1555, the king and his wife, Queen Catherine de' Medici, eagerly invited the gifted astrologer to their court in Paris, where he was later bestowed the titles of Counsellor and Physician in Ordinary. Before King Henry II's rule, Nostradamus also witnessed the 32-year reign of King Henry's illustrious father, King Francis I. This brings us to one of Nostradamus's most famous prophecies about the Saviour.
L'an 1999, 7 mois, du ciel viendra un grand roi des frayeurs, ressusciter le grand roi d'Angolmois, avant, après Mars, régner par bonheur.
The first lines say, the year 1999, 7 months. From the sky will come a great king of defraying, or financing. In French, the word défrayeur in this verse was commonly interpreted as défrayeur, meaning of terror. However, some scholars say that the word could be taken literally, défrayeur, meaning someone who defrays or provides the finances for something. Thus, so far, we found that in July 1999, there will come from the sky a great king who finances. We think this is one of Nostradamus's many references to the world's saviour, which all refer to Supreme Master Ching Hai, as we discovered in parts 6 to 9 of this multi-part series. Master is a world-renowned humanitarian who contributes financially to many causes. Etc. She also often comes from the sky by travelling in aeroplanes, including in or around July 1999. Next, the stanza states that this great financing king is going to bring back to life the great king of Angolmois. Most interpreters think that Angulmois is an anagram for Mongolois or Mongolian. An anagram is a word formed by mixing up the letters of another word, which Nostradamus sometimes did to disguise his prophecies. The great king of the Mongols, Genghis Khan, is indeed one of Master's past incarnations. However, scholars have put forth another, perhaps more compelling interpretation, that the great king of Angulmois refers to the king of Nostradamus's own lifetime, King Francis I, who was from the royal house of Angoulême, also known as Angoumois. This word, Angoumois, is certainly very close to Nostradamus's Angulmois. So the seer has foretold that the king from the sky will be both Mongolia's king as well as the king of France returned. King Francis I was a beloved monarch, intelligent, courageous, and highly generous. He is best known as a patron of the arts, supporting many of the great Renaissance artists, writers, musicians, and architects, etc. The most famous of these was Leonardo da Vinci from Italy, whom the king even successfully invited to come live in France to work for him. This is how some of da Vinci's paintings, like the celebrated Mona Lisa, became part of France's art collection. France became the renowned art centre, largely thanks to King Francis.
And I'm pleased today to tell you about someone who has a great appreciation for the arts. She is herself an accomplished poet and artist.
Supreme Master Ching Hai has always been a great lover of the arts and a dedicated supporter of the artists.
Etc.
She wants to see that we can save our world by love and inspiration through music and art instead of war and disagreement.
I feel that she will be a friend of mine for the rest of my life, and I'm her friend.
I myself, if there is a company I'll be glad to be with all the time, it shall be the genuine, kind, talented artists and their art lovers.
Xin đại diện tất cả các nghệ sĩ ở đây. Xin cảm ơn đại sư.
It seems sometimes that society is designed to discourage creative activity, and Master Ching Hai, as a creative person herself, understands the importance of such creative work as a spiritual practice and as a critical aspect of the life for all sentient beings.
Because the artists, they connect it with their inner creation force, and whatever they do with pure intention, that will uplift the atmosphere of our planet and help the world and the people to improve spiritually, and thus also making peace and harmony outside in our world. That we also inspire the one who enjoy the artistic creation to remember, to connect with the inside creative force. They're the best. They bring people joy when people are sad and down and have nowhere else to turn to, when they don't have a friend to talk to. Music or other kinds of artistic expression or products would bring them back to their feet, truly like that. So artists are very important. I always say that. That's why we make a day for artists. I chose it because I asked for which day is empty, which day has not been named for anything important in the world. And the 3rd of April. Oh, I was so happy. And I want to say, okay, that day for the artists.
그 부분이 제일 인상적인데 누가 그렇게 예술가의 날을 지정해 주겠습니까? 단지 그 상여금으로 와닿은 게 아니라 그렇게 배려해 주시는 마음이 진심으로 와닿은 것 같아서 너무 기쁩니다.
Y a nivel internacional es muy grande para todos nosotros los artistas.
I feel the world should encourage artists more in different ways, should appreciate more their work, offer them more recognition and appreciation, offer more support, and offer more respect in all ways, all means, all aspects. And above all, not wait until they leave our world in misery, then sell their soul steering, heart-touching products for millions of dollars, while the artists themselves struggle with meager existence when they are alive among us.
Mùa xuân của đất trời và tấm lòng từ ái vô biên của thiền sư Thanh Hải bừng nở trên quê hương. Thanh Hải Vô Thượng Sư đã trao tặng một số hiện kim đến tận tay các văn nghệ sĩ và gia đình đang gặp cảnh khốn cùng.
Món quà đầu năm này chúng tôi xin ghi nhớ và rất vô cùng cảm ơn tấm lòng bác ái cũng như lòng yêu nghệ thuật, yêu văn nghệ sĩ của Ngài Thanh Hải Vô Thượng Sư đã động viên khích lệ rất lớn đối với văn nghệ sĩ tỉnh Hà Nam.
But she was so gracious to every department of the show. If I were in her presence, I certainly would express to her my great appreciation for her caring about performers and the importance of recognizing what we do. Bless Supreme Master Ching Hai for having that attitude toward artists. We need it. It helps us be better.
Etc.
King Francis I was the patron king of the arts, but the sovereign was generous in other ways too. He frequently toured his country on horseback in rain or shine to better understand the needs of his people. As he travelled, he would stop abuses by the nobles and show his kindness to the people, whom he addressed warmly as my friends, my beloved ones, etc. The similarities are evident in the activities of Supreme Master Ching Hai, who cares deeply about the less privileged. Wherever she travels, she shares not only her finances, but also her unreserved love and protective kindness, especially with those less appreciated or cared for. Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort and support to the afflicted and needy and/or any good cause over the years as a humble vessel for His compassion and love towards His precious children. Nostradamus said that the great king of defraying, financing, will come in July 1999. From May through June 1999, Master was on an intensive lecture tour all over Europe to comfort the people during the very tense time of the Kosovo War. She also made time in between her lectures and travels to make humanitarian donations. The most publicly known of these contributions were made in Armenia, as well as for the Kosovo War victims. Furthermore, this was preceded by Master's major contributions at a benefit concert held in her honor in Los Angeles, United States, and was followed by another humanitarian trip in South Africa. On the last day of the demanding lecture tour, a peace agreement was finally signed on June 9, 1999, ending the Kosovo War.
So they signed a peace treaty already last night. I hope they keep it. Last night when we finished, they also finished. Thank you for being so supportive, and thank God for helping us. It seems very necessary this time that we get together for the same purpose of bringing heaven to this planet.
Perhaps this is why Nostradamus wrote in the last line of this prophecy that the king coming in July 1999 would be reigning by happiness, both before and after Mars, or war. Through her uplifting message and presence, Master brought peace and happiness to people before and after the war. She also brought back to life the great King Francis I, meaning she is the reincarnation of this great king, or she revived his loving and giving spirit through her actions. Thank you, noble viewers, for joining us today.